Hello everyone, welcome to Spanish from Scratch. I'm Eduardo, and in this series of videos I will be trying to teach you Spanish in the easiest way possible. I have been myself trying to learn several languages for the past year, so believe me when I say I understand your struggle with learning languages. And Spanish is not necessarily the most easiest language to learn, but it's not impossible. So in these videos, I will be trying to explain everything in English so you have a full understanding on what you're saying, and then you can practice it alongside with me with the exercises that I have, with the poster, and other activities we will have in the future. So first, let's see some examples in simple present. This is the tense in Spanish that we're using when we want to talk about our information, where we work, where we live, what we like, etc., etc. Let's take a look at the first example. Yo hablo español e inglés. Let's repeat that one more time. Yo hablo español e inglés. So we have yo hablo. Hablo is the verb in simple present. Literally, I speak Spanish and English. Example number 2. Luisa vive en Río de Janeiro. So Luisa lives in Rio de Janeiro. Example number 3. Mi madre trabaja en el hospital. One more time. Mi madre trabaja en el hospital. So my mother works at the hospital. So these three verbs, hablo, vive, hablo, vive, and trabaja, they are verbs in simple present in Spanish. But don't worry, I'll explain the conjugation right away. Okay, so now we have in here the conjugation. In Spanish, guys, the verbs are separated in three groups. The AR ending verbs like hablar, the ER ending verbs like comer, and the IR ending verbs like escribir. And depending on their endings, they'll have different conjugations, okay? So let's begin with the subject yo for I. So for example, we say yo hablo. Repeat, yo hablo, I speak. For comer, to eat, decimos yo como. Otra vez, yo como, I eat. For write, escribir, we would say yo escribo, I write. So we can see that in all these cases, we just need to eliminate the ending of the verb and put an O instead. And you have the conjugation for I. Yo hablo, yo como, yo escribo. I speak, I eat, I write. Now, let's take a look at the second one, tú, which means you. In this case, we'll say tú hablas, tú comes, tú escribes. So we have tú hablas, you speak, tú comes, you eat, tú escribes, you write. Let's notice in here that when the verbs end in AR, in the conjugation, we change that R and we put an S. When we speak to a person one-on-one, we always conjugate with an S at the end for them. So, tú hablas, tú comes, tú escribes. Now, let's take a look at the next conjugation. This one will be for él, he, ella, she, or usted, the polite version of tú. So we say, ella habla, she speaks. Él habla, he eats. Or usted escribe, you write in a polite form. Now, notice that this conjugation and the previous one are the same. We are just eliminating that S. Let's go with nosotros, we. And let's say, nosotros hablamos, we speak. Nosotros comemos, we eat. Y nosotros escribimos, we write. Let's notice again that what we are going to change is just the ending. When it's we, we add the sound mos. Hablamos, we speak. Escribimos, we write. Now let's go with the next subject. Ellos, which means they. We say, ellos hablan, they speak. Ellos comen, they eat. Ellos escriben, they write. Y por último, we have the subject ustedes. We'll have the subject ustedes. Ustedes is used when you refer to a group of people directly, like a teacher speaking with their students. So the conjugation will be the same as the conjugation for they. We say, ustedes hablan, it's like you guys speak. Ustedes comen, you guys eat. Y ustedes escriben, you guys write. Now, let's notice that the verbs that end in IR, like escribir, they will behave the same as the verbs ending with ER, like comer. The sound is E. Tú comes, tú escribes. Ella come, ella escribe. The only difference would be nosotros. With nosotros, we need to keep the sound of the verb. Nosotros comemos. Nosotros escribimos. Okay? We need to keep that E sound. Escribimos. But other than that, they will behave exactly the same. Now, let's make a little activity so we can practice this. Okay, so let's go with the activity to practice all these conjugations. Sorry for making myself so small, but I had to fit in the screen, okay? Now, we're going to be working with three subjects. With yo, I, tú, you, and ella, she. And we're going to be practicing with these five verbs. Hablar, to speak, estudiar, study, trabajar, work, vivir, live, and ver, to see. All these verbs are regular, and we're going to be practicing with this poster. Now, let's try to use the posters and the cues, okay? For example, we have in here yo, and we have the verb, the cue español, and the verb hablar. So I could say, yo hablo español. Let's repeat that one more time. Yo hablo español. So I'll show you the cue in here. Yo hablo español. I speak Spanish. Now, we are going with tú. And we say, tú. We have español. And we have estudiar. So we say, tú estudias español. One more time. Tú estudias español. And now we have the subject ella. And let's say in this one, música. So we want to say she studies music. So we begin with the subject. Ella estudia música. One more time. Ella estudia música. Now, let's go with the verb trabajar, to work. I could say, I work at Verbling. So I say, yo trabajo en Verbling. One more time. Yo trabajo en Verbling. Let's go with tú again. Now let's use the verb vivir. And en Inglaterra, en England. Y decimos, you live in England. Tú vives en Inglaterra. So, one more time. Tú vives en Inglaterra. And let's do one more for ella. Let's see. Ella, ver, to see, to watch. Videos. Videos on YouTube, like this one. And we say, she watches videos. Ella ve videos. Let's repeat one more time. Ella ve videos. Okay, now let's go and practice with the next subjects. Here we have nosotros and ellos. And we will say, for example, we work in an office, right? Nosotros trabajamos en una oficina. One more time. Nosotros trabajamos en una oficina. We work in an office. Now let's talk about they, ellos. We say ellos, they live in Brazil. We say ellos viven en Brasil. One more time. Ellos viven en Brasil. Just like that. Okay, so let's go back. And now let's practice in negative. In Spanish, when we make negative sentences, guys, it's as easy as putting the sound no before the verb. And that's it. That's how you have negative sentences, okay? For example, let's say, yo, I don't study Spanish. So I could say, yo no estudio español. One more time. Yo no estudio español. Now, let's go with tú, with you. And we say, you don't live in Mexico. So we say, tú no vives en México. One more time. Tú no vives en México. Now, let's go with ella. And let's say that she doesn't watch movies, películas. We say, ella no ve películas. Now, let's try to work together. I will give you one cue and you give me the sentence, okay? I'd say, for example, yo trabajar en casa. Let's say, I don't work at home. I'll give you 5 seconds. So we say, yo no trabajo en casa. Now, let's go with ella. She doesn't speak English. So let's say that she doesn't speak English. I'll give you 5 seconds. We say, ella no habla inglés, sorry. Ella no habla inglés. Ella habla ruso. Okay? Let's go with the plural subjects again. And let's say, we don't speak Portuguese. We say, nosotros no hablamos portugués. And let's do one last example. Let's say, they don't live in Mexico. Ellos no viven en México. There it is. So you can be using this poster in this video to be practicing again and try to do the other cues that are missing, okay? Now, the following questions will be for you guys. Just let me move my screen so you can see. Okay, so in these questions, you can answer them in the comment box down below. So it would be, ¿qué idiomas hablas? What languages do you speak? ¿Qué estudias? What do you study? Music, languages, businesses? ¿Dónde vives? Where did you guys live? ¿Qué ves en Netflix o en Amazon Oh, and HBO. What do you watch on Netflix or Amazon or HBO? And ¿dónde trabajas? Where do you work? In a bank? In a hospital? In YouTube? So please share with me in the comments the answers to all these questions, okay? Very well. So if you like this video, guys, I would really appreciate that you subscribe to the channel and that you share this video if you can. And also, if you're interested in learning more about Spanish or helping me in any ways, you can also take lessons with me. I will link down below my teacher's profile so you can find me and you can schedule lessons if you like to, okay? Very well, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!